Oh, back over here. Is this it? Right here? Yep. Okay. Why fives? Contrary to popular belief, I'm Brent Carter, no relation to Mark Ripitone. Reps are one of the fundamental building blocks when putting a program together. Why? Well, it's easy to see how changing the exercise selection can significantly alter the outcomes of a program. For example, all the gym bros that bench all day, every day, all seem to have chicken legs. Weird. But how does the number of reps you do affect the outcome of your training? First, some terminology. When you are lifting, the number of reps is the number of times you perform that lift without really stepping away from the exercise. Sets would then be the number of times you do that. So, if I squat and I do my 3 reps, 1, 2, 3, then take my 5-minute break and do that again, I would have done 2 sets of 3 reps. The starting strength novice linear progression, along with a few other protocols, relies heavily on the use of 5s. We really like to use 5s with most of our novices, and will come back to 5s frequently, even in later stages of a lifter's career. 5s form an excellent foundation for someone interested in strength. But why? Think about the number of reps that you could do in the weight room as a continuum. The least number of reps that you could do would be 1, not 0, because that wouldn't actually be completing a rep. When you are training heavy singles, this is an excellent display of strength. It requires that you recruit as much muscle mass as you can and lift the heaviest load that you possibly can just one time. This 1 rep, if it is truly a rep max, might take 7 or 8 seconds to fully lock out. Think about that for a second, or 7. If you didn't really have to grind, like your life depended on it for at least 7 seconds, it wasn't a true 1 rep max. This type of event is all about maximum force production. Now, what kind of athlete would do this type of training? Well, powerlifters and Olympic weightlifters certainly come to mind, since their sport is all about 1 rep max events. If 1s were over here, what would be on the other side of that rep continuum? What is the most number of reps that you can do and still actually be productive in the weight room? Well, we would probably say around 20. And that's because if you get past 20, the difference between doing something for 20 and 25 reps becomes so negligible that they are practically, as far as outcome goes, the same thing. At this end of the spectrum, the outcome is more endurance-based, not cardiorespiratory endurance like running a marathon, but local muscular endurance, fighting through reps as the pH level of your muscles continues to drop, and then keep on fighting. This is a very different situation than a 1 rep max. Now, what kind of athlete might train in this side of the spectrum? Probably one that is only interested in muscular size, since there is, by comparison, much less force production happening over here. For the novice, we want to get the best stimulus for being generally strong. This means being towards the middle of the spectrum when it comes to both max force production and local muscular endurance and muscle size. For that, we use 5s. Now, I know what you're thinking, why not 10? 10 seems to be in the middle of 1 and 20. And while that is true mathematically, it's not very true physiologically. The difference between doing a weight that you could do for 1 or your 1 rep max, remember, 7 seconds of grind, and then making somebody do a 2nd rep with that weight is potentially life-altering, and probably not in a good way. However, taking a load that someone can just scratch out for 20, and with a few more breaths under the bar, making them do one more rep, well, after all, you've already done 20, what's one more? That's a far more feasible scenario. The bottom line is the further we get away from singles, the strength requirements drop off faster and faster. We like fives because they are heavy enough to get stronger, but having to do it for 5 reps also means there's a little bit of a conditioning component and certainly a muscular hypertrophy or size component. Could it be that we are wrong and that literally thousands upon thousands of data points got it wrong and maybe 4s are the magical number? Or 6s? Yeah, maybe. I think the point is we've been doing 5s for many, many lifters across many, many years, and it works. And it seems to generally work better than anything else, particularly for novices. So, do your 5s. To learn more about starting strength in the novice linear progression, click here.
No. Yep. Yep.
Okay?